She said most black Americans have clean and cheerful heart. Yes! Yes! They are the most sweetest, kindest, adorable guys I've ever met in my entire life. Black Americans are the best.
God actually hid his glory in Black America. And I can tell you for a fact, let's get into it. For generations, they tried to bury them. They tried to erase their history, steal their identity, and silence their voice. But what they didn't know is that you can't bury what God has hidden. Because God hid his glory in Black Americans. Now, let's talk about them being hidden even in pains. From the plantations to the projects, from oppressions to opportunity, Black Americans has always carried something the world couldn't explain. Talent, power, resilience, creativity. It's not coincidence, it's divine design. God hid his glory in a people that the world would just overlook. So when they rise, the world would know it wasn't man's doing, it was God's plan. Now, who are the hidden ones? The Bible says God uses the foolish things to confound the wise. You remember that scripture? He hides his greatest treasures in broken places, and Black America has been that vessel. They called them slaves, yet they became kings and queens in culture. They called them cursed, yet they became chosen. They tried to destroy them, yet they became the heartbeat of the world. What they tried to break, God used to build a testimony. You get that? That is who these people are. They're still a wonder that people are always, oh my God, they are a wonder. If you don't know, I'm telling you about these people because I've been researching about them, because a whole lot of things about these people is not normal, right? And so I went and I was researching about it. Anyways, watch these videos, right? Credit to those creators. I'll be back with the closing for you. Make sure to watch this video to the end. Don't miss any part of it, or else you're going to regret it. Anyways, let's watch.
They will be getting their land back because white people are becoming more and more the minority as the years go on. They say by 2045, whites will be completely the minorities because a lot of the old people are going to die off. People like myself aren't having kids because of the economy. There's actually more interracial relationships nowadays. So kind of in a way, white people will kind of go extinct of the American soil. And that's what Trump's plan, the Zionist plan, is to destroy the economy. Is their plan to have the indigenous people go away and make it more white? That's why he's bringing over the South African white people over here, all that stuff. Is they want to wipe out the indigenous people, but it's actually backfiring because the whites are going out. And the indigenous people are actually having more children than the whites. So yeah, they're eventually going to get their land back without having to do a thing.
Think about it. The historical figure known to Christians was born in Jerusalem, in the Middle East, to a virgin named Mary and a father named Joseph. Very white and English-sounding names, aren't they? The reality, their names were most likely Miriam and Joseph. And Jesus, his real name was probably Yeshua, or in the language he spoke, Yeshua bar Yosef, meaning Yeshua, the son of Joseph. The English names we know today passed through Hebrew, Greek, Latin, and centuries of European translation. That's how a Galilean family ended up with British-sounding names. But also, let's be real. Whitening the story made it more comfortable for a white English-speaking audience. And while we're on that subject, I don't know very many people of Middle Eastern descent who'd be considered white passing. So here's a wake-up call for all you so-called Christians who are definitely racist. Yeshua, not Jesus, wouldn't have been white. he'd have been what we'd call today a person of color. So let me get this straight. You worship a brown Middle Eastern man born to a teenage girl and still manage to be racist? Cool, cool. But to make that make sense in your head, you had to make him white? Neat. Is the sky also blue in your world like it is in mine, or? Wild, isn't it, folks? The Son of God was brown, poor, and Middle Eastern, but somehow every church painting turned him into a sun-kissed European with perfect hair and soft hands. So let's make a deal, shall we? If you're going to build your hate on a lie, at least pick a lie that doesn't crumble under basic geography. Because you can't claim to follow a brown Jewish refugee from the Middle East, a man persecuted by empire, and still side with the empire every time. The message of Yeshua wasn't about whiteness, power, or purity. It was about compassion, justice, and tearing down the systems that crush the poor. So if the only version of Yeshua you'd worship looks like you, votes like you, and hates who you hate, that's not Yeshua. That's just a mirror. Anyway, kind of funny, isn't it? 2,000 years later, people still use his name to justify who's allowed into what country, wars and racial hate. Almost like the empire Yeshua died defying is still alive, just wearing the cross they pinned him on around their neck. Peace out, and if you're not already following me, you should. It's going to be a ride.
How do I say this? The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right. And those people yelling at the park dressed in purple about black people being the real Hebrew Israelites, they're right, okay? Like, anytime you see the word Hebrew or Israelite or Jew in the Bible, in your mind, you got to replace that with black person. So the whole Bible is going to make a lot more sense to you once you start reading it like that. But you need to let this get settled in your heart now before you get up there. So, I mean, they were literally whipping him on his way to get crucified, you guys. Crucifixion was a punishment, like, for slaves back then. And gladiators. And all the gladiators were black, too. Did you know that? Like, you guys, he was sold for 30 pieces of silver. That was the maximum amount of money that a slave could be sold for. Oh, just coincidence? Above his cross, it says INRI. They were like mocking him. They were saying it says this is the king of the Jews. They're saying, like, here's the king of the black people. Look what we did to him. Why does the KKK burn crosses, you guys? The racist KKK. It's just, black people rejoice. You are God's chosen people. Like, I mean, those are some big shoes to fill, but be honored. Like, feel good about that. Like, how cool. Anyway, see you later. Jesus was black.
History is often told by the victors. The victors, depending on, you know, their moral situation, they could be the oppressors, right? In America, we know the story of our oppressors. We don't know the story of those who fought against that oppression. We don't know what their lives were like. We don't really understand what it's like to have even pride in being a black American unless it's looked at as more of like a Republican thing lifestyle, right? But when it comes to the reality of the black American gods, if you will, I was listening to a publication and it was saying that it was on Black Magic. He was talking with a sister, I think her name is Sister Isis or something of that nature, and it's talking about, you got the Egyptian gods, which is nice to understand that, but then you also have the black gods that are the black American gods, if you will, where, you know, Egypt was not just in, or Kemet, I would say. And Kemet, I'm talking about more so that mindset of things that we built was not just in, you know, Northern Africa or in Egypt, but we built here. There are pyramids here. There's pyramids and there's, you know, mummies that have been found in America, 12,000-year-old mummies, and pyramids that's been found here in America. So why don't you think that we know? Of course, I know this answer, but I want to hear yours. Why don't you think that we know how special we are in America?
They have to create a narrative that we are guests in our own country. The narrative that we were just brought over here to a new country by white people.
You may think you're not a big deal, but I need you to take yourself seriously, because folks out here think it's a joke. Folks out here think it's a joke, and that time for like holding back your power, holding back your gifts, holding back your light, those days is over. I need you to really make this shit bleed. I need you to really give them what they deserve. You need to make that shit bleed. Make that shit hurt. Make that shit so painful. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about violence. Make that shit bleed. Ooh, squeeze as tight as you can. Stomp as loud as you can, because they really think shit a joke. And I know you out here, you trying to be this kind soul. You trying to, you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. You don't want to disappoint nobody by making them realize that they was never that. Make that shit bleed. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you create. I don't know what you're planning. But I need you to really lock in, focus up, and make that shit bleed. I need you to make their hearts go straight to their fucking ass. I need you to make them cry. I need you to have them pulling out their hair. And for the people who always been waiting for you, who always needed your presence, your essence, I need you to make them cry too, because they're gonna be like, finally, somebody who gets me. Finally, somebody who done it. Make that shit bleed. And I want you to have so much fun with it. I don't need you worrying about, oh, is that making them uncomfortable? Is that making that person too insecure? Fuck that. Fuck that. Because whole time you're trying to spare people's feelings, they out there cursing you. They out there cursing behind you. They out there throwing dirt on your name, everything. So I need you to make this shit bleed. I need you to go all the way. I don't need you to win one time. I need you to keep winning and keep winning and I need you to go after your highest excitement, your highest joy, with no ounce, no inkling of remorse, until you have no more breath. You must go out with a bang. You must become timeless.
If slave owners actually believed God existed, you think they would have let their slaves know Jesus? You win the day with this one. If they truly believed that their God was that powerful, they would not introduce their God to a being, to a subjugated group of people that they wanted to disempower. They would have not empowered them with the knowledge of their God. You hit it. That's it.
About race, the Black American ego, and why I never wanted to change. A national treasure on this app, DVDs and CDs, I believe, told a story about the Black American ego and you being able to clock a Black American because of how we move. And that someone called her the N-word while traveling, and somehow her hand ended up in contact with them, and that person ended up against a wall, and someone that was with them was like, oh, she's American, without her saying anything. And what I think is so beautiful about that is that it is absolutely true that the way Black Americans exist in their Blackness is very different than the rest of the diaspora, because of the one drop rule, we weren't allowed to boink our way out of our blackness. We were pretty much forced into our blackness, if that makes any sense. And what we did with that was then find joy and pride and fought for our blackness. In other countries, either there was not intermixing in the same way, and so blackness is really the majority of what they know, which is a lot of Caribbean countries, or there was a benefit to sleeping your way out of blackness. And so many people thought of that in their choice of mate. And so like in Brazil, you'll have 16 designations of race because there's like a path to get towards whiteness, right? This also reminded me of when I don't know what the conversation was, but people talked about how biracial men in the UK will always have a white partner because for them being biracial is something different. And I always related to the color pink. In America, we would, like, the way we see blackness, pink is a shade of red. Yeah, it's its own thing, but it's a shade of red. In many countries, pink is independent of red. Even though it's made out of red, it's independent of red. And you know that, I don't know her because I have her blocked, but the one that was like, we have rice and peas in the UK. It can't be talking about us, that troll from the UK. Her video came across my timeline today because someone reposted her. And basically, Americans were calling one of Meghan Markle's friends black. The woman is half Filipino and half black. And that woman, as a British, with a British mentality that you can sleep your way out of blackness, a lot of other countries have that, even countries on the continent, is saying she's biracial because I did research. She's biracial. But being biracial doesn't make her less black because of our one drop rule. We see ourselves in our people, even if our people are mixed with other things, because most of us were mixed with other things because of grapes, you know what I mean? And so it just blew my mind that, like, oh, part of the pride that Americans have is not only have we had to fight for our blackness, but there was no escape of our blackness. And I have multiple friends, but that are first gen from Jamaica. And most of them tell me that when they got to America, like, the type of racism that they encountered blew their mind because, while yes, they understood colonization, they understood the struggles of their country at a national level, blackness was so reinforced in their identity that they didn't have to fight for their blackness. Like, their blackness was reinforced at every step. And then on the other end, you have cultures and countries in which their blackness is not reinforced and you can sleep your way out of blackness, in which case they are jumping at any identity that isn't their indigenous, like, not indigenous, but, you know, they're like straight from the continent one. Like, any chance they get to step out of that, they're like, I'm out of it. I'm something different now. I am unique. I am pink. It is not a shade of red. It has red, but it's totally different from red. I just think it's, like, super interesting. I absolutely love it. I have my own tales in travel, you know, as someone who's traveled the world for, but, like, I love that. I love the Black American ego.
I pissed off a lot of non-Black Americans, a lot of foreigners, because all I said was, if you're not a Black American, you a guest in hip hop. I wasn't wrong. You know what I'm saying? Only a hit dog, a holler, but it's absolutely true. Like, I don't fetishize about who the greatest Jamaican artist was, or British artist was, or African artist was, or Canadian artist was. I don't know what was a Canadian form of music before hip hop? What was an Indian form of entertainment? What was an Asian form of entertainment before hip hop? What was a Hispanic form of entertainment before hip hop? So you guys are participating in things that are created from our lifestyles. That's not hard to understand. See, the problem is y'all envy Black Americans, but y'all don't respect Black Americans. But what y'all got to understand is Black Americans are the creators of everything cool in the world.
Being a Black American is everybody wanting a piece of your culture while belittling you and saying you have no culture in the process. We have the Hispanic community that can't stop saying nigga because we say it. We have the Asian community that started rapping and then dressing like we did in the 1990s. We have white people that portray our culture. Then when they make enough money, they go back to their white roots. We have Black Islanders saying we don't know where we came from and we both were on that same slave ship. They were just dropped off sooner. We have Black British people that say we have no culture while all their actors come over to America and portray us. And then when it comes to the African communities, they say we have no culture because we don't know where we came from. Meanwhile, they talk like us, they sound like us, and they dress like us. But for some reason, we don't have a culture. And I say this to say we are so welcoming to everyone else in our community, but are they welcoming and opening to us? No, not really. When it comes to jobs, they end up only hiring their own. When it comes to something being mutual benefit, they benefit from us and our culture, but we don't really benefit from theirs. So going forward, unless these people are welcoming and opening to their culture as much as we are, we need to draw a hard line in the sand and stop being so welcoming and opening.
Welcome back. I must say credits to those creators. Right, now let's get into it. Now there's a revelation season as to why God hid his glory in this people. Now, the world is starting to see what has been hidden for centuries. Everybody's seeing it, including me here. I'm seeing it. And that's why I'm with them. Yes, I am with them because I am saying it. I'm fully aware that no, these people are different people entirely. Anyways, the strength, the creativity, the divine purpose of Black America is being revealed. Their rhythm, their voice, their power is all part of God's glory shining through his people. This is not just a cultural awakening, it's a spiritual revelation. And I'm telling you, do you believe it? Let me see it in the comment section. I'm telling you, God is pulling the cover of what he's been preparing in silence. I've already, I knew it already. So when he finally blasts it out there, I'll be like, yeah, I've done videos about it. You can go check it out on my YouTube. And that is it, right? So now, let's think about prophetically, right? So understand this. Being hidden wasn't punishment, it was protection. Because when the time came for God's glory to be revealed, it had to come through a people who understood pain, endurance, and faith. That's why God hid his glory in Black Americans. Those people they've seen things that no Black race have seen. Because when they rise, the whole world will see the glory of God through them. And that's just the truth. Me, I'm already seeing the glory anyway. I'm way ahead of all of you that have not seen it, right? I've seen it. God hid his glory in them. God hid his glory in them. So when you start seeing, oh, these people are now taking over places in the world, you always refer to my video and say, yeah, God hid his glory in us. God hid his glory in us. That's why you're going to come here to comment in, who knows, maybe decades to come, right? So that is it. Let me stop here and hear your thoughts in the comments, right? Do not forget to always subscribe to these videos, right? To this channel. My name is Beejay, or Blessing on Global Gist with Beejay, your sister, your cousin, your friend that truly loves you so much, right? From the side of the world. I love you so much. Thank you so much for always engaging on my videos. I see all your super chats. Today somebody did $15 for me and I'm like, what? The person already paid for my hairstyle and that's good. God bless you all so much. And to the ones who just watch my videos, even without giving me super chats or anything, I love you so much. You don't know what it means. Watching my videos till the end, sharing them, it means so much to me. I love you. I love you. You are the best. I feel so much love on this platform. Thank you so much. Bye.